Welcome to Partisia Pulse, your monthly show from the Partisia Blockchain team. I am Bakir Zimkanov, and I'll bring you the latest updates from our ecosystem. Partisia Pulse covers our latest organizational, technology, developer, and community news. You will hear from our top leadership and get first-hand updates from us. You're watching our debut edition from Copenhagen. Let's check the pulse of the Partisia blockchain together. First up, 0 to 100 with one of our co-founders, Brian Gallagher.
Things are really coming together here at Partisia Blockchain. In the last 6 months, we've hit several big milestones. One of my favorites is when we demonstrated zero-knowledge voting for the first time at Paris Blockchain Week. What this means is that everyone was able to cast a vote for the Paris Blockchain Week awards ceremony, but it was the first demonstration of voting in a zero-knowledge smart contract. This means everyone can vote on a blockchain where it's transparent, you know how many votes there were and you know the outcome, but every user's individual privacy is preserved. Then we launched Party.com shortly after. Party.com is the future Web3 creator economy. It allows live streamers to stream and gain subscribers, issue subscriptions in the form of cryptocurrency, sell NFTs, upload video, photos, charge for content. We have what's called token gating, so anything content-wise that they want their users to subscribe to, they can sell NFT access passes for this. DJs can sell single-use NFTs to watch a live show on Party.com that the DJ is putting on. The BNB bridge has launched, which now allows any developer on BNB chain to leverage our privacy-preserving technology for their existing dApps. And finally, the best thing was some of our new hires. Bakit, our new head of media and communications, as well as Tiago, our new head of community. Both of them come from Cardano. They have really amazing Web3 backgrounds, and they're already making a huge contribution to the Partisia Blockchain Foundation.
The first half of this year was filled with achievements and wins, small and big. And I have Kurt Nielsen, our president and co-founder, with me to answer a few questions. Kurt, what trend should we look forward to, or what trend should we look out for?
I think the regulation is super important, and I'm not just talking about the regulation of crypto as an asset, but actually the regulation around infrastructure. So you see all over the world regulation that is pointing at privacy. GDPR, we see regulation with the recent development in AI pointing at both integrity and confidentiality. And we also see that the requirements about resiliency in terms of which jurisdiction you are located in should be part of digital infrastructure. So all of these 3 points is requirements for any digital infrastructure: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And that's exactly the starting point for the design of the Partisia blockchain. So we built for this type of challenges that we're meeting today, and we are really looking forward to bring this infrastructure into things like AI, where you can create transparency around how we use the data, and you can keep the data that you use confidential.
So our technology was built with all of these in mind a few years ago. So basically we were future-proofing our technology even before we knew that these problems existed.
Exactly, but the point here is that these requirements existed in teaching book. This has been in teaching book for decades in computer science and how you design infrastructures. So it's not new, it's just that now it's also becoming a requirement at a much higher level. It's not just at the C-suite level in organization, but it's at the government level, at the top level, that now this is a concern. This is actually how you become a competitive as an enterprise, as an organization, but also as a country. So this has moved out of the textbooks into real life and becoming a very critical competitive edge all over the world.
That's very material, and it's actually, as you said, it's not just crypto regulation, but it goes beyond it, and that's something I guess
Yeah, crypto is a lot about that. That discussion is, Mike, like what kind of asset is the tokens on a blockchain? But the blockchain as such really comes with a lot of these features. Maybe not the confidentiality per se, but that's exactly what we bring into it. But it comes with integrity, transparency, and it comes with the availability built in, that it's a resilient network. So it's really what the world is demanding. So I think it's important to think about that when all this discussion is pivoting around whether the asset is one type or another type.
That's very interesting. So and so we're at the end of first 6 months of 2023, and Kurt, I just want to ask, what were your bright spots within Partisia blockchain in the first half of 2023?
I think there's a number of things to emphasize. I think I will emphasize the first one, which is all about creating utility on chain. So one thing is to drive adoption. The other thing is the ecosystem growth that we are facilitating, so where we allow for what is called community staking, which means that anyone that sits with MPC token, they can put that to work with the node operators and get rewards for the staking, for the community staking that people are doing. So that system is put in place, and it's out there using in work to put to work. So that's one thing. The other thing would be, of course, the applications. So just want to highlight one of the flagship here, the International Committee of Red Cross. So that has been finalized and it's been tested. So it's now ready for field test, which means that we can now go in crisis zones, in war zones, and we can keep the recipients of these humanitarian token confidential when we do cash and vouchers with this system. So it's a big achievement, and we're really looking forward to work with the whole NGO world on bringing this into a number of use cases. So that's the second one. The third one, I have to visit my paper here. The third one I want to emphasize is actually one of the recent one we did. So we adjusted the tokenomics. There was a misalignment due to some delays in this turbulent time where things has been postponed and again. But we created that adjustment, readjusted the tokenomics, and made it ready for listing. So that's been super important. I'm very grateful for the community that they accepted this that well.
So these are all within the first 6 months, right? And these are quite quite a big achievements to a certain extent, and some of the small wins that you didn't mention. There are plenty of small wins, I'm pretty sure. And if you don't mind, give us a teaser. What is yet to come in the second half of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would sum it into two things. Adoption, preparing for listing. Adoption, we are working to streamline. We have a lot of interesting leads that is hopefully converted into real projects that we can then start to talk about, because you always have a long list of projects that we work on, but we cannot really talk about them before we have them signed before we have signed contracts. So that is going to be paramount for the project to work on these projects and succeed in implementing them, bring them to mainnet. And we are continuing the work on preparing for listing, or the integration with different service providers out there, whether that is wallets or standards for how to facilitate exchange of these tokens, etc.
Quite a big one. So I guess our viewers have quite a lot to look forward to. Thank you, Kurt.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our technology is always evolving and improving, and it is the revolutionary MPC technology that sets us apart. Our Chief Technology Officer, Peter Franson, is here to recount the tech highlights. So Peter, in the midst of many tech updates, which were the most important ones for you, or the ones that are very memorable, and what's in store for the next 6 months?
So the tech updates that we've done is finalizing the roadmap that we've planned for since last summer. So this is actually bringing together a number of different features that's going to fit into the entire platform. So the platform is now becoming greater, and in this roadmap update, we are in this summer, we are going to, a lot of the smaller things that we've been building sort of in different areas are going to converge into a much stronger tool set. So the entire platform is going to get better, even as the organization is also maturing. Sitting here with you is a part of that. So there's a few tech things that I really want to highlight. There are some things that for me sort of plays a special purpose. So we have a sharding model which is fairly unique to the industry. That sharding model allows us to scale indefinitely, literally, and we don't have a number of shards, but we do that sharding within the same security model. So it's not like a lesser version if you go to a shard, and that means something. If you have money on a shard, you don't want that money to be controlled by 3 servers. You want it to be controlled by the entire network. And this is what we've been done, and that sharding model is now finalized in the sense that we can now do sharding updates. We can now do dynamic sharding. So the infrastructure is in place to actually provide the sharding that we really want to have as a mature platform. We have also finalized the price oracle. So the price oracle in the bring your own coin is now being part of the infrastructure and now dynamic adjust the price and the market for computation. So we are pegging our price for computations on the dollar. That is, the price for gas should be fixed in terms of dollars, but that means that we need to have a price oracle in order to translate from Ethereum or from Matic or from whatever other foreign bring your own coin we have to US dollar, and that price oracle has been deployed now.
And in the midst of all of these highlights and achievements, most of these activities that were started in 2023 will continue in the second half of the year as well, but I'm pretty sure there must be some unique things and some surprises in store. Can you give us a bit of a teaser what to expect?
So we're going to have a new version of our interoperability of our zero knowledge computation bridge that can be done from any bring your own coin to our Partisia blockchain, so you can utilize that. The details of that is not completely finalized, and we have some very interesting features that is constrained within that. So you should be looking forward to that particular. That's going to be the first of a number of things, a number of features that might surprise you, but hopefully will make your experience of the platform much more complete and comprehensive.
Perfect. Thank you, Peter. And this was Peter Fransen, our Chief Technology Officer here in Copenhagen. In the first 6 months alone, our Partisia blockchain ecosystem welcomed new members and continues to grow. The node operators numbers are rising, and our community is continuing to expand globally. And that's just the first half of 2023. So Bruce and Thiago, based on the latest developments in our community at large, so what trends are likely to emerge, and what can our ecosystem expect next?
Yeah, should I go first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we're seeing a lot of interesting trends that are a little bit different than what was the last bull cycle. The last bull cycle, we saw a tremendous growth in DeFi. That was the main focal point. And I think we're not at the bull cycle yet, but in this time around, we're seeing a lot of interest in other parts of the industry. Interoperability is a very big interest that's happening in the industry significantly. We're seeing a lot of also interest in DIDs. And
so that's digital identification?
Yes. And alongside the digital identification trends, there's a lot of privacy aspect that seems to be coming forward. So when you talk about digital IDs, you have to tie in some level of privacy around that, so that you can authenticate somebody, but also keep their information private as well, right? So there's a lot of trends in the privacy side of things as a result of digital ID.
Trends. Okay, so what have I been noticing? A couple of sectors. Gaming has had a huge surge lately, especially now that true AAA games are being developed on the blockchain. I'm not going to name any names, of course, but it's really exciting for any gamer out there like myself. So it's not only your Axie Infinity NFT play to earn. You actually now have games being developed that match console grade a console grade experience. So it's going to be a very interesting space to watch. Last year was all about the metaverse. That was the buzzword of last year, but that dropped significantly. Maybe now that Meta has announced the Vision Pro and augmented reality, there might be an uptick on that trend, but we'll have to wait and see. As Bruce mentioned, we're not at the bull cycle yet, but we are almost we're about a year off the next BTC halving. So historically, that is very exciting to watch. So many things are going to happen, and yeah, we're all very excited to see how things roll out.
Our community, thank you, gentlemen. So our community grew significantly in the first 6 months of 2023, and that's a trend that's likely to stay, and it will continue to grow. And within our ecosystem, we've welcomed a number of interesting projects, and I think the level of projects, not just the quantity but also quality projects, are also getting more interesting, and the uptake, we're increasing the uptake as well. So with all that in mind, what do you think our viewers should expect from your respective functions for the rest of the year?
So from an ecosystem growth perspective, we've been highlighting the different various projects. So we've had a variety of different projects spanning, very different areas. So enterprise, as an example, we've had things like Monadi or the ICRC, like eTrusty as an example, looking to tackle enterprise problems. But then also in the Web3 space, we have teams like MetaNames, providing, again, interoperability, being able to transfer and create a naming system to transfer multiple different types of assets using a single name, which is an industry first, to things like MuPay, also with interoperability, being able to aggregate swaps into a single easy to use transaction and cheap to use transaction. So like I mentioned earlier, interoperability seems to be a very big focus. A lot of the teams that we're speaking with these days focus on interoperability, but on the enterprise side of things, they're still looking for privacy solutions. So one project that we're speaking with is building something to allow for digitalization of property deeds, but you have to be able to privatize that information. And so on the Web3 side, we're seeing a lot of interoperability, being able to do cross-chain interactions. And then on the enterprise side of things, there's a lot of interest in the blockchain space, and as a result of that, they're looking at solutions that have privacy built in, because this is a very key aspect, key requirement for enterprise sides. So I think that's what we should expect in the next 6 months, continued growth of these two different aspects.
Well, on the community side, I'm all about human relationships and playing around with things. And one of the applications that our community can go out and play right now that's built on Partisia is party.com. So that's party with an I, not a Y, PARTI.com. And it's still very much in beta, but you can go and check it out. It's going to be really impressive from what we know of the roadmap. And that is built on Partisia. Another interesting it's not an application, it's a program run by the Partisia Foundation, is the Ambassador Program, which right now is in alpha. So we've selected directly community members who we validate as being great contributors to help us build the ambassadorship, which is going to be run as a DAO with the vision to become a DAO. So a ambassadorship built by ambassadors for ambassadors. So around, don't quote me on this, but around Q4, we're going to enter the beta stage of the ambassador program, and we're going to invite more people to participate. So if you're interested, just continue doing what you do best, continue participating in our community, reach out, show your interest, and let's start a conversation. And if you're interested in becoming an ambassador, be sure to let it be known. There are many interesting things that are going to happen that unfortunately we cannot right now disclose, so stay tuned for more things to come.
That's right. So thank you, gentlemen. Stay tuned for a lot of things yet to come for the rest of 2023. You heard it first on Partisia Pulse. Our technology continues to improve and expand, winning more hearts and minds. Our community continues to grow, and we are on track with our goals. So this is it from the very first edition of Partisia Pulse. I'm Bakir Zimkanov here in Copenhagen. See you next month.